Well, it's not clear when convicted South African drug mule Tessa Beetge will return home. After 5.5 years, she was released from a Brazilian jail on parole last week. Beetge's mother, who fought tirelessly for those behind her daughter's drug peddling to be brought to book, recently died. Beetge's aunt, Margie Olsen, joins us on the line now. Good morning to you, Margie, and thank you very much for your time. We understand that Tessa is now being kept in police cells as a sort of transit point before she's brought to South Africa. Are we correct in saying that?
Yes, good morning, CNCA. Sorry. Tessie was actually expelled and not paroled, so she will be coming home. As soon as all her paperwork gets organized by the Brazilian authorities, she is presently being held by the Brazilian federal police.
Margie, I just want to ask, because not many of our viewers would understand the difference between this term expelled and paroled. Does this mean that her sentence has been cut short? Has she been pardoned and just allowed to go free before serving out her full sentence?
The expulsion basically means that she will be deported from Brazil. There is no parole, so there is no parole conditions attached to this. So she has basically been released after 5.5 years. The original sentence was 7 years and 9 months.
Margie, have any of your family members managed to speak to her?
No, unfortunately not, because she's in a holding cell.
And when exactly can you expect her home? Is there any clear indication of what that time frame might be?
At this stage, no, there's no indication. It all depends on how long it will take the Brazilian authorities to do all the paperwork. Once the paperwork has been completed, the consulate will immediately let me know as to what the next step will be and what the arrangements will be thereafter.
Do you know at this point what prompted authorities to release her earlier than expected?
We're not sure. I think there was, when she did a special assignment program, it came across very clearly that if she was paroled, she wanted to refuse it. Because she felt safer inside than she would have on the streets of Brazil. So we are all very, very happy that the expulsion came through and not a parole.
And naturally, arrangements will have to be made now. A ticket will have to be bought for her to be brought home. How helpful has the Department of International Relations been in helping to repatriate her?
We have a group of people in South Africa called up the Locked Up Society, who are assisting in every way that they can. The Brazilian authorities are limited as to what they can do, but I do believe that her father will be paying for her ticket.
What sort of help have you received from the Department of International Relations since news broke of her expulsion from Brazil?
I get immediate emails or telephonic phone calls from the consulate to let me know what the status is. At this stage, I'm waiting for them to give me further news. And until then, there is actually nothing happening while they do the processing.
We understand that the period in the holding cells could run for up to 40 days. Are you worried that she could be held in these cells that long?
Not actually, because I think she'll be very safe there. And it could take, like you say, up to 40 days. That is a known fact.
Reintegrating clearly won't be easy for her. I understand that one member of the family has told the media she'll be staying with a friend who is also a former inmate held in Brazil at some point and has returned home, so that Tessa can reacclimatise to life in South Africa. Is that true?
It is possibly true. At this stage, we haven't had confirmation. We can only make those final arrangements when we get her arrangements. And once Tessie comes home, Tessie will decide whether she wants to go to her children first, whether she wants to see her mother's resting place, or whether she wants to go to her father, or just basically go to her friend and just find herself again.
Just give us a sense of how her children have reacted to the news of her imminent return.
The children are very, very happy. They are, at the moment, with their father and their stepmother, who's been taking very, very good care of them. They've turned out to be beautiful little young ladies. And it's just a very, very big pity that Tessie could not see them going through their teenage years.
Thank you very much for talking to us today, and we certainly hope to speak to you again as the story continues to develop. Tessa Beetge's aunt, Margie Olsen, on the line to us.
Know more about your world.
eNCA.com